Imagine buying a home for $1.55 million in 2021, only to see it sell for $1.14 million less than 4 years later. That is a staggering $410,000 loss for the original owner. Or picture this, picking up a West Vancouver mansion for $500,000, fay under fay its assessed value, a property that the BC Assessment Office valued at over $2.2 million. Sounds like the ultimate real estate dream, right? The kind of once-in-a-decade deal that sends shivers of excitement down the spine of bloodthirsty investors. But what if I told you that these incredible opportunities are often shrouded in complexity, risk, and a whole lot of misunderstanding? I am talking about foreclosures and court-ordered sales. And right now, they are surging across British Columbia. This is not just a ripple. It is a growing wave impacting markets from Vancouver's Lower Mainland all the way to Surrey and the Fraser Valley. And in this deep dive, we are going to pull back the curtain on what is truly happening. We will uncover how these sales unfold from the inside, expose the real risks that buyers face, and perhaps most importantly, reveal why most people looking for deep discounts in this market are completely missing the point. By the end of this, you will know exactly what is behind the headlines and how to navigate this challenging yet potentially rewarding segment of the real estate market. Let us get started. First, let us establish the undeniable trend. Foreclosures are on the rise. In Greater Vancouver, we have seen a dramatic increase, with active court-ordered sales jumping over 100% in just the last year alone. While they still represent a small fraction, less than 1% of the total active inventory, that growth rate is something we have not witnessed in a long time. In the Fraser Valley, the story is similar. Historically, you might see just a handful of these sales a year, but with detached home prices dropping between 20 and 35% in some areas since the peak, the landscape has changed dramatically. Many homeowners who made bad buys or poor financial decisions no longer have the equity to simply sell their way out of trouble. This lack of skin in the game forces more properties into default, pushing them through the court system. And it is not always just banks. While most foreclosures involve lenders trying to recoup missing mortgage payments, court-ordered sales can also stem from stratas selling a condo due to unpaid levies, bankruptcies, estates, or even divorcing couples who cannot agree on a sale. The common thread is that a judge is overseeing the transaction to ensure fairness and adherence to legal processes. So, how does a property even get to this point? And what does the entire court-ordered sale process look like here in British Columbia? It begins, quite simply, when a borrower, the homeowner, fails to meet the terms of their mortgage. This typically means missing several monthly payments or sometimes failing to pay property taxes or insurance. Once in default, the lender the bank sends out a demand letter, giving the homeowner a short window, usually 7 to 10 days, to get their loan current. If that does not happen, the bank files a petition of foreclosure in the BC Supreme Court. This petition outlines the debt owed, sets a redemption period typically 6 months, giving the borrower one last chance to pay in full, and grants the lender certain rights if redemption does not occur. During this 6-month grace period, the homeowner can try to pay off the debt or even sell the property privately, though often still requiring court approval. It is their final opportunity to save their home. If the redemption period expires without the borrower settling the debt, the lender applies for an order for conduct of sale. This crucial order gives the bank control of the sale process. They hire a real estate agent, market the property, conduct showings, and accept offers, all of which are subject to court approval. At this stage, the property is publicly listed as a court-ordered sale. And here is a critical point to understand. Banks act much like any other homeowner. They are not looking to give the property away for pennies on the dollar. Their goal is to sell for the highest amount possible. Real estate agents representing the bank will conduct a full comparative market analysis, establish true market value, and implement a comprehensive marketing plan. In my experience, banks will often even list slightly above what the comparative market analysis suggests, because they are obligated to try and recover as much as they can. Once listed, the property is marketed, much like any other resale. Open houses are held, private showings are arranged, and offers are submitted. The negotiation process is similar, except now you are dealing with the lawyers representing the bank. When an offer is accepted, the buyers proceed with their typical due diligence, securing financing and conducting a home inspection. However, unlike a traditional sale, there is always a subject to court approval clause. Once all fee buyer fee subjects are removed, the accepted offer price is posted to the MLS, often in the Realtor remarks section. Previously interested parties are notified and given an opportunity to present a counter-offer at the upcoming court date. Now, fast forward 4 to 6 weeks, the court date. This is where things can get truly competitive. The bank's lawyers, the accepted buyer and their realtor, and the listing agent are all present. The judge reviews the existing offer and the marketing report submitted by the realtor, detailing all efforts made to sell the property. This is the moment for other interested parties to submit their own offers. These must be completely subject-free, with all terms, conditions, and dates outlined by the bank's lawyers. And it all boils down to price. They already know the accepted offer price, so any new offer must come in higher. It is surprisingly common for multiple offers to be submitted at court, especially for desirable properties. The original purchaser can also submit a new, higher sealed bid. Buyers literally prepare secondary bids in case they see competitors in the courtroom, adjusting their final price based on perceived competition. The judge then opens all sealed bids, declares the highest one, and that buyer officially purchases the home right then and there. Every offer submitted at court must be accompanied by a copy of the deposit, typically 5%, meaning these are firm, ready-to-go deals. But here is a critical risk you absolutely must be aware of. Court-ordered sales are almost always sold as is where is. This means the banks, who are typically now the owners, do not guarantee or warrant the condition of the property upon completion and possession. Imagine this. The previous occupant is still in the home up until keys are handed over to you, the new owner. If they were to remove appliances or even take a sledgehammer to some walls out of spite, none of that is the responsibility of the bank. You essentially walk in and say, "Oh, I guess this is what I bought." While severe damage is uncommon, it is not unheard of, and it represents a significant risk that is absent in traditional sales, where sellers are contractually bound to deliver the home in the same condition as when the buyer last saw it. So if you are considering a foreclosure, talking to an experienced agent who can guide you through these risks and protections is paramount. After the deal is firm, possession typically occurs within 2 weeks. And what about the money? First, the bank, as the lender, gets their money back, fee, including the principal, interest, and sometimes legal costs. Remaining funds are then distributed to other claimants, like second mortgage holders or lien holders. Only then, if any funds are still outstanding, are they given to the previous owner. It is also worth noting that if the sale proceeds do not cover the entire initial debt, the lender can seek a deficiency judgment, which is a court order allowing them to pursue the borrower for the shortfall. So, that initial homeowner might not be off the hook quite yet. Now that you understand the intricate process, let us tackle the biggest misconception, the idea of getting a deep discount on current market values. While some of the dramatic examples we started with might suggest massive savings, the reality is often quite different. In Vancouver, when we look at year-to-date sales, the list to sale price difference is typically less than 1%. This means properties are generally selling for very close to their current asking price. Yes, that asking price might have been reduced multiple times from the original, but the final sale is rarely a fire sale compared to the most recent list. In the Fraser Valley, the numbers are even more striking. The average list to sale ratio for foreclosure sales was 100.4%. That is right. Properties were selling, on average, above their asking price compared to the market average of 96% for all properties. In fact, exactly half of all foreclosure sales this year in the Fraser Valley went for at or above asking price. So why are not these properties selling for massive discounts of today's market values? There are three key reasons. First, as we discussed, the foreclosing party, almost always the bank, has a legal and fiduciary duty to try and sell the property for the absolute most amount of money possible. They will not just accept any lowball offer. They will often list high and gradually reduce the price each month until they start attracting offers that are close to market value. Second, banks typically operate within strict internal formulas. The lawyers working for the banks are often only allowed to accept an offer within a very tight percentage or two of the current asking price. So even if you, as a buyer, believe a property listed at $1 million is only truly worth $800,000, the bank might not be able to accept your $800,000 offer until the price has been reduced over several months down to, say, $829,000. It is a lengthy game of patience and strategic pricing. And third, the court date itself often drives prices up. Once an offer is accepted and firm, it becomes public knowledge, inviting other potential buyers to participate in a sealed bidding war at court. And as both our market insights confirm, multiple bids at court are incredibly common. This competitive environment naturally pushes the final sale price higher, often above the initial accepted offer. So while you might hear about properties selling for a substantial discount off their original peak prices from 2021 or their BC assessed value it is a critical distinction to understand that you are rarely getting a deep discount off today's market value or the current asking price after the bank has gone through its pricing strategy. However, the silver lining is that these situations can and do still yield compelling opportunities for savvy buyers. The outliers, like that West Vancouver home selling $500,000 under assessment or the Richmond condo going for 19% below its original list price, do exist. But capturing these deals requires patience, a deep understanding of the foreclosure process, a willingness to assume the as-is-where is risks, and most importantly, the guidance of an expert realtor who specializes in court-ordered sales. They know how to identify these properties, how to navigate the specific search functions on the MLS, how to prepare offers that stand up in court, and how to advise you on the real value versus the perceived discount. Vancouver's foreclosure market is small, but it is growing fast. While court-ordered sales still make up less than 1% of all listings in Greater Vancouver, the numbers have more than doubled year over year, a significant shift we have not seen in a long time. Most are selling very close to their current list price. But every so often, a rare deal will slip through for those who are prepared and well advised. So, if you are looking to capitalize on this unique market segment, remember that it is not about blind lowballing. It is about strategic insight, understanding the legal framework, assessing inherent risks, and being prepared for competition. Do not go it alone. Reach out to an agent who understands these unique sales inside and out. Someone who can guide you through the intricacies and help you identify if a true opportunity lies beneath the surface. My contact information is below. Feel free to reach out anytime to connect, ask questions, and learn more about what is truly happening in the foreclosure market. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found today's episode insightful. Take care.